Okay, Montana spring game is this Friday. I just looked and it said Friday, and I still almost said Saturday. Montana spring game is this Friday, April 12th. It's going to be an amazing game. I wanted to talk about some of the position groups that I will be paying attention to during that game. Obviously, what everybody's going to be paying attention to is the quarterback position. That's a position I'm going to be keyed into. Logan Fife, Callie Iayat, and to see Sam Vidlak, see where things stand. Obviously they're all probably going to get reps. Obviously they're going to do a lot of situations. Haux likes to do the situations. He likes to get everybody reps, see guys. Obviously, I don't think he usually plays all the starters with each other, but we'll see how that goes. But I'm interested in the quarterback's position. I want to know how that. Everybody's keyed into that. The quarterback is what we lost, so I think that's a given. I think I don't even have to speak that. Everybody knows that. The next position group that I'm going to be looking at is the defensive line. Alex Gubner, Defensive Player of the Year, Big Sky Defensive Player of the Year, a dog. Somebody I'm going to be keyed into. He just killed his pro day last week, had an amazing day at pro day. Tested really well, I think, tested really well, ran really well, short area quickness showed up, his strength showed up. Everything showed up, his explosion. I think he did really well at his pro day, so I'm interested to see where he'll go, if he'll get picked up as a UDFA, what team is willing to take a chance on him, what team is willing to give him an opportunity, because I know how Gub works, I know how he is. He's going to ball out. Either way, Gub was a stalwart for this defense last year. He held this defense up in the middle. He was amazing for our defense last year. Amazing for the Montana defense last year. They brought in Pat Hayton. I believe he came from Monmouth. He's going to be somebody I'm paying attention to. The D-line, mainly Pat, and mainly that position right there where Gub was, because I know how important Gub was to our defense last year. You can say what you want to say. I don't remember the last time a defensive tackle won Defensive Player of the Year. I think that speaks volumes to all the coaches in the league. They know how dominant Gub was for this defense, and they know what part he played in our defense last year. So that's something I'll be keyed into. Cale Edwards, somebody I put on my top 10 players to watch for the 2024 season. Another player I'll be keyed into. Riley Wilson. Obviously, I think Riley Wilson was all conference. I think he was second team all conference last year. But somebody else I'll be paying attention to. The D-line. The D-line. It all starts up front in the trenches. The D-line, offensive line. Which brings me to my next position group. The offensive line. A lot of new faces on that offensive line, a new coach coaching that offensive line. That's a position group that was good. I think they were better last year than they've been in years past. They had a lot of age on that offensive line. Journey Grimsrud, I think, is returning. You got Brandon Casey on the right tackle returning. Obviously, AJ Forbes is gone at the center position. He was the standard at that center position for that offensive line. He had been the starter for 3 years. That's somebody they're looking to replace. They also have their guard position. I know they played Cannon a lot last year. He has another year of experience under his belt, so that could be good. But the left tackle, Chris Walker, is gone as well. So offensive line is going to be another position that I'm paying attention to, because I think Montana was decent in the run game last year. Obviously, against South Dakota State, they didn't really run the ball successfully that much. Furman, they weren't really able to run the ball that much. North Dakota State, I don't think they really found super success in the run game that much, except for in overtime when Eli Gilman was able to get into the end zone. So the offensive line is another position group I'm paying attention to. Obviously, they have that first team all-conference tackle in Brandon Casey returning, which is really great for them. But there's a lot of missing pieces there from last year that aren't going to be there. So that's another position group I'm paying attention to. And then the fourth position group that I'm paying attention to, and the final position group that I'm really paying attention to, obviously we'll be watching all of them, but these are some of the position groups that I'll be keyed into, and that is the defensive backs. A lot of new faces on the defensive back side of things. We got Trevin Gradney, but Trajan Cotton's gone, Nash Fouch is gone, Garrett Graves is gone, and then one more, Corbin Walker is gone. So a lot of age leaving that defense, but then you have Jackson Lee returning, Trevin Gradney returning. So there's some old faces that were returning. First team all conference, obviously Trevin Gradney. Corbin Walker was first team all conference last year, so losing him is going to hurt them. But Ronald Jackson is somebody I see is going to have to step up this year, and I'll be paying attention to him. Lamar Campbell, somebody I'll be paying attention to in the spring game. Jaylani Warren is somebody I'll be paying attention to. Kenzel Lawler is somebody I'll be paying attention to. Krishawn Gordon is somebody I'll be paying attention to. There's a lot of guys to pay attention to for this spring game. On the defensive back side of things, there's more defensive backs that I didn't even name, but I'll be paying attention to all of them. I want to see how they're going to do. the defense was really good last year. The defense was really, really good last year. So any piece that you lose, defense is not only about effort and how hard you play, but it's also about the cohesion with all the guys being able to communicate effectively. And they had that last year. They were really good communicators, really great cohesion on that defense. A lot of guys who have been there for some years and understood how the system worked and understood where I need to be, how I need to play these things, so building back up that cohesion and putting new pieces in is going to be interesting, and I'm interested to see how they play. So defensive backs, paying attention to that. Offensive line, I'm paying attention to that. Defensive line, I'm paying attention to that. And then number one position everybody's going to be paying attention to is quarterbacks. So obviously, one thing to note and take everything with a grain of salt is these guys have been going against each other for like 3 to 4 weeks. So this is obviously going to be the last time they're going to go against each other until training camp. So they might be a little worn down. Guys might be a little beat up from spring practices. Coach Houck likes to hit it hard. I know he's been getting softer in the last few years, so they might feel good. And obviously you get to play in front of a bunch of fans. So I know that's the allure of this game. And these guys obviously want to prove themselves. Not for the fans. I'm not going to say for the fans, but they just want to, they want to show out. Guys want to have a good day. Guys want to, put on a good showing for the fans. I would hope they want to put on a good showing for the fans. Don't do it for us. Do it for your brothers. But, I would hope that you guys will want to perform well. So I'm very interested in the spring game. It's going to be a great time. And yeah, you guys let me know in the comments if there's a position group or a position player, a certain player that you guys are keyed into, wanting to see how they do. I think very interesting. Another interesting player that we all can pay attention to is the running back position. They brought in a new running back from Arizona or Arizona State. I can't remember which Arizona it's from, but another running back into the running back room. So I'll be keyed into him as well. And then Xavier. I was talking to Xavier the other day. They got him running a lot of slot receiver. He really enjoys it. He likes playing slot receiver, being able to get the ball in his hands in space, which is what he does best. So I'm very excited to see how that is, because I haven't got to see him at slot receiver. I know he has decent hands as a running back, but I think he has a decent body for a slot receiver. So to see him getting more burn there is very exciting. And yeah, so you guys let me know what you guys will be paying attention to from the running back standpoint. And I remember I had originally said, honestly, on that Xavier point, I had honestly been confused why they brought in another running back when I knew they had Nick Osmo and Eli in that running back room. But now that you say Xavier is running a little receiver and they only have Eli, I mean, I'm sure Xavier is still probably getting some burn at running back. I don't know. I haven't been out there. But if he's exclusively a receiver, that'll be interesting. But I understand now why they brought in another running back, to bring in somebody to push those guys up front, Eli and Nick Osmo, and, give them something to work for. But I'm excited for the spring game. What are you guys going to be paying attention to? That's what I'm going to be paying attention to. You guys let me know in the comments, and we will move on.